Bila Plume goon should start down, need permission, now I stay real with it. Lay a one foundation, always gon' build, bro, I being biddle with it. Your homeboy check the cash out, smart contracts for the cash out. Everybody want smoke till I turn the dare, show you where the hash at. Just on the block.
What's going on, folks? The Underdog Research Channel. I am here. Today, we're going to do a wonderful first time ever video live stream about a new series that I've decided to start because you've asked me to, and called the Plume Report. Now, before we even get started and get you into this, please share this on your TV, your laptop. You can look at it on your small phone, but I create visuals, take a lot of time to do so you can see the research over the hype. So there it is right there, folks. If you want to become a member and so you can get exclusive content, also scan that QR code right there. I'll bring it up a few more times. I will have exclusive videos that I don't put on my regular platforms and my private site. So go ahead and get started. So what are we doing today, folks? This is episode 0, no hype, just research, the Plume Report. What is the Plume Report? What I'm going to do, and let me tell you about it so we can get started. Now, on this episode 0, I am going to first announce to you that because of your request, because of your vote, the Underdog Research community has asked for me to start to cover Plume. Currently, right now, I'm going to be starting. This is the first episode. You don't want to get behind because I promise you this, by the end of the series, which is going to go on for quite a bit, you will be the most in-depth knowledge that you've ever seen. I'm going to show you connections, and I want to show you exactly what's going on with this project. Now, let me make it very clear from the series number 0. This platform is not a crypto trading platform. This platform is a crypto research platform. I know that you're so used to people telling you when to trade, look at the MACD, telling you about the hourly moving and all that stuff that goes with it. But I don't talk about those things because I believe that you should better understand the project and use the seat of the pants wisdom, your intelligence to make a decision, and you're accountable for what you trade. So if you want to use this to help you blow up your bank account or avoid a project, then feel free to do so. But there is no hype and there is no shield. There is no FUD. It's researchable information. And so I want you to know that before you even start watching it. So let's get into it. Plume. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to do it the Underdog way. We're going to give you a research analysis. And who's we? That's myself and all the information that I can gather for you about a topic. But here's the problem with this project. When you look at Plume from the standpoint of a project, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of things we have to talk about. Authentication protocols, supply chain management, anonymous verification, KYC, blockchain and cryptocurrencies, secure data sharing and collaboration, identity verification, real world assets, tokenization. I could go on. And let me tell you the dangerous aspect of getting it all in a water hose and then trying to drink out of a fire hydrant. You hear the words, but it doesn't register. You don't know the value of it because you are only using value based on the token prices. If your value is based on token prices, this platform won't help you at all. I'm telling you, it won't, because I rarely talk about token prices. I don't talk about it because utility of the project, its adoption for me is some of the things that you must consider for the global market we're in. So I won't give you the things that you're so used to hearing online where people give you rocket ships. So let's talk about it. I'm going to break down 2 main things that you didn't know today. So stay with me. Let's talk about those 2 things. First, let's talk about a technology that is the bigger macro conversation when you talk about Plume, but it's the least known. And that technology is called Zero Knowledge Technologies. Short, they call it ZKPs. Now, somebody right now like, Underdog, we came for the Plume. Tell us about Coinbase. Tell us about blowing up our bags. I won't do that, folks. I won't make the mistake that most people make, and that is focus so much on token prices that every time it goes up, you get anxiety. When it goes down, you get anxiety. You are making choices based on price action, and you don't understand what the project is. So let's talk about what is the underlying things that are so quiet but so powerful. Zero knowledge technologies are one of those things. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to bring up a collaboration, a partnership, and then I'm going to talk about zero knowledge technologies, and I'm going to apply it to this project Plume. You need to write it down right now. You need to put it in your mind. Underdog said zero knowledge technologies. I've not really heard of that before, so let's bring it up. So this is a partnership that this project has. Let's talk about it.
Be the Plume goon should start down, need permission, I stay real with it. Lay one foundation, always gon' build, bro, I been biddle with it. Your homeboy check the cash out, smart contracts with a cash out. Everybody want smoke till I turn the dare, show you where the house at. Spun the block, turns out I been Black Rock. Protocol, treasuries, bonds, I mean got them packed.
So let's talk about this real quick. Now, real quick, I want you to look at me in this chat, in this conversation. If you are able to hear that, let me know, because with technology, sometimes technology doesn't do what it needs to do. So just quickly put in the chat, I heard it loud and clear. I saw it and I heard it. And then let's talk about this zero knowledge technology connection. So a few months ago, a lot of people didn't realize that there's a technology that Plume itself is connected to. And this connection that it's connected to is a company that's providing a product for it. Now, hear me out. You can't really understand Plume yet. We can't keep talking about real world assets until you talk about the applicability of scalability and what institutional investors need in order for someone to think this project is worth obtaining. Well, I want you to think about it. If you have a business and you yourself are trying to make money, would you make more money by selling to singular individuals or more money selling to a factory that needs larger production? Now, someone's going to say, well, it depends on how busy it is. Well, let me tell you this. If a factory is ordering tons of your merchandise and a retail investor is only buying small bits and pieces, you would need more retail investors to get the same amount of orders that one company can do. Plume has to think about institutional investors first for adoption. And you know this is true. Why? Years before Plume was ever in existence, there was a project that we all know called XRP. Now, XRP had a reputation before the SEC stated that there are securities, before that lawsuit was resolved. This is the onset of XRP. It created relationships with who? The bank. The banks internationally. In fact, 90% of XRP business was foreign business. Now, the banks said, we like this. And why did they like it in that time frame? I'm going to connect it to Plume, but I want to make sure that we use a comparative analysis. The banks said at the time in which XRP came out, transactions took more than 24 to 48 hours to confirm transactions. And then XRP found a way through their 3 to 5 seconds using on-demand liquidity, ODL, and their particular style of security that they could send and confirm a transaction faster, more efficient, and also less costly than the traditional means. Now, you got to go back in your mind to that place that we were in about 10 years ago. Now technology has advanced more. But the scalability of it before the SEC shut it down with the lawsuits, the scalability was the aspect that made the banks want to obtain this product called XRP. Now take that same mentality and you got to think about who is the buyer ultimately right now for Plume? Sure, someone could argue with me that Underdog, the buyer for Plume is the retail investor because Coinbase, Binance, and these markets have utility tokens. Okay, watch this, folks. How often do you go to the store or to your bank every day and utilize your Plume tokens in your everyday life? Likely you don't. But RWAs with Plume has built an ecosystem, folks. And that ecosystem is being utilized by big institutional companies like BlackRock, Hampton Lane, Blackstone, and others. Securitize. They have to build the rails so that they have a product that the big institutional banks will look at and companies like, whoa, we need this product. That's the misconception people don't understand. Now, with that being said, what does this have to do with ZK-Me and zero knowledge proofs? So zero knowledge proofs is the technology that allows Plume to be scalable, attractive, and usable for institutional companies. The problem is that people continue to try to equate the value and use case based on old thoughts with Bitcoin when it first started and no one knew what it was. It was 50 cents and people were buying pizzas with it. And then it went up in value. And so we got a meme coin mentality that we're applying to the wrong product. So I want to help you understand the significance of this partnership with ZK-Me. So let's talk about this partnership. We'll look at the partnership. Let's first show you where the partnership comes from so you won't think I'm just bringing this up. I'm going to bring up first, introduce who the founders are, and then we'll talk about the partnership. Plume was founded by three individuals: Eugene Shin, Chris Yin, Teddy Pormprina. Now, Eugene Shin has passed away, and we'll talk about that, but I want to first bring up who are the founders, and then let's talk about this connection. Now, Plume announced this. You can look this up. Remember, I'm giving you researchable information so that you don't have to think about, well, Underdog, how do I know what you're saying is true? So let me bring it up for you. 1 year ago, Plume brought up this post, and it says, Plume Network integrates ZK-Me to redefine privacy and compliance in real-world assets FI. With ZK-Me's zero-knowledge KYC, Plume enhances secure, scalable, and compliant decentralized finance for all. Say hello to seamless privacy-first user verification. We're excited to announce our integration with Plume Network, a leading RWA FI chain for crypto natives. Plume has recognized ZK-Me as their first integrated ZK KYC solution, setting a new standard for secure user verification and decentralized applications. Stay tuned for our next big move. Folks, right there is David Alexander Shearer, who is the CEO of ZK-Me. Now, in my series I have called a Connected series, I talk about who's behind the company that created ZK-Me. But I want you just to focus on something that I just told you that you may not be aware of. Plume has partnered with a company that's doing something for them. What are they doing for them? It tells you right there. Securing the network, makes it scalable, makes it compliant with what? First integrated with zero knowledge KYC. Now, what does that mean? Know your client or know your customer. If you were in the United States a few years ago, back before 2022, and you was on a particular site for cryptocurrencies that everybody liked to use, what happened? The regulations changed and everyone in the United States were kicked off that site because you didn't have the ability to KYC. Now, internationally, globally, everybody knows that certain districts, certain portions of the world restricts users from having access because the United States and other governments say, listen, we need to control money for terrorism, for tax evasion, for fraud. We need to know who is talking to this site and moving digital assets. If a real world asset has value, like a car or anything of value that's a real world asset, then the governments need it to be compliant with regulatory laws so that people won't sell them, make money, and not report it back to the government. So people won't sell them, make money, and not be terrorists. This is the way of the world, and you're not going to get away from it. So it's not Bitcoin of old in 2010 and below. This is the real world. And in integration to happen with these companies, they are regulated by financial institution regulators who say any product that you have in real world assets, if you want it to become liquid, it has to have the same standards. So this is why it's important. If you don't know that, you got Plume token like it's a meme coin and you don't see the significance. So here's the thing. We now know that David Shear of ZK.me has a partnership with Plume. And we know this is because we see it announced by Plume and we see it announced by ZK.me. And so we know that Plume officially has a technology that allows it to be scalable. Now you're thinking, well, Underdog, what make it make sense for me? Why is that important? Because now we get into why that we have this partnership and what does it mean? KYC, zero knowledge proofs. Why is this so valuable? Why is this something you need to study and think about every time you pay attention to it? So you don't believe me. You don't understand why that's important. You think I'm just bringing it up, but making it important. So I'm going to play a video for you. Hopefully you can hear everything that I play for you. And this is going to be with one of the founders, which is Teddy Porpina, talking about this very thing. And then I'm going to bring up Christian. I need you to pay attention for the 90 seconds that each video lasts. Listen to what they said because it's very important. So let's bring this up and let's listen to what they said about this very topic. Let's first bring up Chris Pina.
Elaborate on Plume Network's modular blockchain architecture and how it benefits the deployment and management of RWAs.
Yeah. So, our technology and our blockchain is very modular in nature, which really means, we are, at the end of the day, we're building a permissionless chain that's dedicated for real world assets. But at the same time, we also need a compliance architecture in place for the more enterprise and institutional folks that we're working with. And so what we're building is actually a modular tech stack where we can help provide any compliance needs that any of these enterprise folks need, whether it's KYC at the application level, AML at the node and chain level, zero knowledge technology. What we really specialize in is being mobile and nimble. So let's say we're working with a new asset issuer in a new jurisdiction and for a new asset that maybe some of our partners can't really cover. We can integrate with a partner in that area and leverage their license to bring that asset on compliantly. So by having a modular tech stack, we could bring more assets on chain, and also, on the more chain level, we're working with different DA layers like, Celestia. We've been speaking with, Eigen as well to really find a way to mimic the real world on chain. And what that means is basically creating a chain where, gas fees are pretty much close to zero. And we can really create this experience that is very similar to the real world and bring on net new users from the Web 2 space onto Web 3.
I know you heard that, folks. Did you hear what he said? Now, I'm going to go through the 2 points. Zero knowledge technologies. It's one of the things that he said that they can bring. They broke it down in 3 categories. What were those categories? And this is what Underdog is trying to tell you. This is what I want you to get in your mindset about this. Let's bring this up again because it goes into the heart of the conversation so you can understand why. So the categories he brought up was the security, scalability, compliance, and also the integration of zero knowledge technologies such as KYC. Why? Because companies, cryptocurrencies who do not do this part are worthless. I'm telling you, there's going to be so many people who are surprised that a project that had a lot of hype, a lot of marketing, failed to do this one thing: create a zero knowledge identity layer like Plume has already done. I've been telling people for months, and you heard it right now. You just heard it from the founder. Who else you want to hear from? I'm going to listen to the people who created the project. Now, you might not know that that's alpha. You might not realize that because so many people are focused on price action as their alpha, and this platform is not going to help you. But those who get it, those who understand that if a project dies because it does not meet the regulatory needs of the industry, of the market, and becomes outdated, it has no use to you. Why put your money into somebody's company, somebody's token, and they're not even keeping up with technology? That is a fail. So with Plume, every time you purchase a Plume token, understand that it is a key to an ecosystem that's already compliant with the rails needed for an institutional investor to even integrate it into their ecosystem. Ultimately, you want people to put billions, trillions of dollars into the ecosystem so that the fees are paid using Plume token, network token. By them using Plume network token to pay for fees and transfer within the ecosystem, the total value locked ultimately raises the price of Plume network token. So why does it matter if a project has great content creators who tell you little rocket ships and keep putting up every week how it's going to go from this to this and how much you're going to make if it doesn't stay up with technology? Plume has zero knowledge identity layer for KYC, scalability, regulatory compliance. But you still don't believe me. I want you not to believe me. That's the whole point of the Plume report. It's not a hype session. It's for me to bring to your attention something that no one's covering. Go out right now. Look, who's covering zero knowledge technologies? He also said something else. I don't know if you heard him. He said they're partnering with a particular company. They said Celestia and EigenLayer. Oh, my people who've been watching the Underdog Research Channel knows exactly why that's important. I told everyone before EigenLayer ever was released in 2023 that during a series I saw called The Money Trail, that I found a new project that does restaking for Ethereum called EigenLayer. Ethereum, the number 2 token in the cryptocurrency sphere, the number 1 utilized token in the history of cryptocurrency, has a particular connection to EigenLayer. Now, today is not the day I'm talking about restaking, liquidly restaking. I've already talked about this in the past, but we can't ignore it. What is the purpose of the Plume report? Is to bring to your attention the connection. Now, I want someone to challenge Underdog, say, Underdog, I didn't hear him say EigenLayer. All right, let's bring it up. Let's see if Underdog can find something for you folks that proves that what I'm saying is true. Let's go to this one. This is the post of now deceased co-founder and chief technology officer of Plume, Eugene Shen. I'm going to read it to you. I'm thrilled to announce that Plume has closed a $10 million seed round from leading venture capital firms, including Home Ventures, Galaxy, Superscript, Reciprocal Ventures, Selena, A Capital Ventures, SB Angel, Breed, Hyper, Seraphon, Portal Ventures. Now, over the past few months, we've onboarded 80 projects and scaled up our team to senior engineers. Now, let's move down to the bottom. I'm grateful for all our investors, both institutions and individual execs from Eigen Labs. Now, that is this individual right here. Serum Canonine, EigenLayer, Eigen Labs. Igen Labs is a force beyond Igen Cloud, a developer platform bringing verifiability to apps, data, and AI. Igen Labs is the force that created, aka Igen Layer, the developer platform turning the blockchain into a verifiable cloud for apps, data, and AI. We're a remote-friendly team, hubs in Seattle and New York City, founded by Serum Kanan, former professor at University of Washington, head of the UW Blockchain Labs. Now, folks, Igen Layer is not only a partner, but according to what we just heard right here from the founder, Teddy Pomprina, they're an advisor along with Celestia. Now, you may not know what Igen Layer is. You may look at Igen Layer and say, well, what does it matter? I'm telling you that Igen Layer, before I discussed it first, it had not been released. At the time in which our communities first learned about Igen Layer, pre-token listing, Igen Layer you could get into for 9 cents. Some got in the first phase at 6 cents pre-listing. Igen Layer went all the way up to $5.40 to the best of my recollection. Now, currently, Igen Layer has receded down with Bitcoin prices to, at the time in which you're watching this, to 47 cents. Do you think that's going to stop when Ethereum comes back in play? Why does that matter for real world assets? Why is a real world asset project like Plume connecting with a project on Ethereum that had one of the biggest total locked values ever, made history with Igen Layer? And who are the people behind it? Breven Howard and other individuals. And I'm not going to do this today because there's so much information that people don't realize how big it is. What other cryptocurrencies that are currently on CoinMarketCap, Coinbase, connected to Igen Layer, the reason I even talked about it, a part of the money rails. Now let's get back on track because I don't want to overwhelm you. What I want you to do is focus on 2 things today. This is the episode 0. And we've been talking now for a little bit of time. You've learned 2 things so far, and I'm still not even done yet. You learned 1, that there's 3 founders, one of them that's deceased, but they talked about what they were talking about, the chief technology officer who created the very technology that you may be invested in. Who were their partners? Who was their advisors? Igen Layer and zero knowledge proofs from ZK-Me. Now, why is that important that we now know that we got David Alexander Shearer from ZK-Me? You will continue to see this come up again in other projects and other partnerships. You will continue to see Igen Layer again in other projects and other partnerships. You may want to consider that of why, but that's going to be for the next episode. Let's keep going, folks. We know that Plume was recently listed on Coinbase. We know this. I discussed this with you. In fact, if you go back to my videos, I stated that this was going to occur 5 months prior to it actually being listed. It's one of the first ones I gave you this prediction of listing 5 months prior to happening. Why did I know this? Because I knew who the players were behind the scenes. I discussed who the players were behind the scenes. Union Square Ventures. You don't know who that is unless you've been watching my platform. Don't worry. I'm going to give it to you. Well, I told you about who was behind these tokens and projects. Barry Silbert, Grayscale. Let's talk about that. Keep in mind that you got zero knowledge technologies used for scalability. So let's get to it. January 29th, 2025. I'm going to keep hitting you with this. It was the very first of the year. I told you about this connection in the Connected series. At the very beginning of the year, I gave you this statement. I told you that Plume Network integrates with real-world assets to enable live real-world transparency. BlackRock tokenization as Blackstone Credit Bull Primco, Hamilton Lane. So before I ever did a series of Plume, I told you at the very beginning of this year about the special connection with Plume. Now, I'm still not done. Pay attention. Let's go for some more. Plume and Elixir then This was January 16th. When did you find out about the first one? January 29th. January 16th, Plume and Elixir launched the first institutional rails into RWA5 using tokenized real-world assets from BlackRock and Hampton Lane. I read to you this. I'll read to you again. Elixir, DUSD, stablecoins, institutions can access new yield opportunities via Nest, Plume's flagship, RWA staking, and institutional core vault while maintaining security and compliance. Wait a minute, folks. I'm not done with that. What did they say they're maintaining? While maintaining security and compliance. I wonder where I've heard that before. Let's see. Where did we hear that before? Maybe we heard that when we talked about zero knowledge technologies. Maybe we heard that there. But there was some other place that you heard this, which brings me to Chris Yin, conversation I brought you in the Connected series. Let's see what he has to say about this security and compliance, and let's reconnect it back to BlackRock and what's happening after Coinbase. Maybe a Robinhood listing's happening. Oh, y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't know about that yet. Let's talk about what he said. This is what he said.
The fact that maybe somebody hacked you and all the money is gone, right? And so there are rules you can do at this sort of infrastructure level to put in compliance and controls, which we've done at Plume, right? And you can also do things at the end user level, at the application level, to make sure there's proper guidance so the users are not doing this. Today, also, we have all kinds of audits and all kinds of detection hacks around our system. And of course, an insurance market that's been built around this. You know, systems improve over time, security improves over time. And right now, today, what we're doing is adding on multiple layers of security around this to make sure that there is nothing, so multiple safeguards that you can fall back on to make sure that the end user experience ultimately, right, is a safe one and people can reliably allocate on chain and continue to invest and build into the ecosystem.
Oh, you might have missed that. Let me run it back, folks, to the very beginning. Let's hear the question. This is what he said. Tokenizing real world assets. It's important. Let's listen to half of it. Here we go.
This is really the wild, wild west. You mentioned you're unregulated, and of course, in the past, we've seen plenty of hacks taking place in this space. Also, a lot of uncertainty for institutional investors still with regards to tokenization. So what can you do to protect investors who might be curious about this space, but still, you know, kind of maybe a little tepid about getting involved, particularly on the hacking side?
One, like you said, there's legal structures and regulations that we need to put in place to make sure that people understand the rules and the people that are issuing these assets are doing this in a safe and compliant way so the user can reliably allocate into these things. Now, the second thing is when you put this thing on chain, how do you make this better and how do you make sure that the hacking is not a problem? We've seen lots of smart contract hacks and lots of end user hacks and all kinds of stuff happen there. And because it's an open and permissionless world, people can hack things, and it's sometimes you have a limited ability and limited recourse to get that back. Right? For many different ways, there are several different ways. You can impose rules at the end user level to make sure there's education so the end user knows what to interact with, how to interact with those assets and move things around. What we do at Plume, what we do with other ecosystems as well, is we also take those rules and bake them into so many of these protocols and bake them into the chain itself. So this way, what you can do, similar to stablecoins, right? If there is a hack, right, and if something is unsafe, you can always stop and freeze these things. So you can then have some recourse to make sure they go to the right place.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, folks, let me put it all together for you. I just brought to you when Chris Yin, the other co-founder, is speaking about data hacks, is speaking about scalability, speaking about how they can stop. Just imagine that your crypto is hacked from your account. Instead of losing it, you can press a button, freeze it, or recall it. That is where we're at. But what about not getting on people to get in there in the first place? So I told you all these things way before we got to the point of this space. And it's not about what I told you. It's about you understanding that every time you say Plume, you can't not say ZK-Me, the company behind it. Every time you say Plume, you can't ignore zero knowledge proofs. Because if you start ignoring it and you only think you have in your hand or in your wallet a meme type token because you look at the price and it's underneath 2 cents, if that's all you believe is value, it's probably not a good idea to continue to hold on to something that you don't understand completely. Now, I can't tell you what to do. All I'm saying is, wouldn't it be better to see that these rails are being laid down, that they got these big partnerships, that they're doing what the SEC requires them to do by having scalability, compliance, regulatory compliance with KYC and all the other factors, so that a big institutional investor like, I don't know, maybe BlackRock, who's already done it, or maybe we'll consider the other ones who are considering it. What about this one that hasn't been done yet? What about Grayscale, July 10th, 2025? Plume is under consideration. Assets under consideration, current products, Grayscale. I need you to understand this, folks. Let's say it again. Retail investors, wake up. We got Robinhood, retail investors. Go grab it off there if you want to. We got Coinbase, retail investors. Go grab it off there. Plume is saying that they're being considered by Grayscale an asset under consideration. We're talking about the potential of not only being a transfer agent, but an actual asset, no different than Solana, Bitcoin ETFs for Grayscale. You don't believe me? Let's bring it up so you can read it yourself. Grayscale, July 10th, 2025, investment products, assets under consideration, and current products of Grayscale. In green, I've highlighted for you. Assets under consideration list digital assets not currently included in Grayscale investment product, but identified by our team as possible candidates for inclusion in a future product. Assets currently under consideration, I put it in green. I put a big arrow in red. I've put a green arrow around it. I've highlighted it yellow, and I put a check mark. Plume Network. Folks, I need you to understand what this little 2-cent token at the time in which you're watching this, it's being considered for. Grayscale, without them, Barry Silbert, Digital Currency Group, the biggest and baddest investors, a multi-billionaire crypto investor who created Grayscale itself, who created the first ETFs for Bitcoin, is considering Plume as an asset to sell as a product to other institutional rails. We're talking about big wig money globally. And if Grayscale takes them on, do you think that they'll be the only institutional rail? I need you to separate in your mind so you can really let it. What project can you name right now that you've ever held in your wallet right now who's already connected to Securitize and BlackRock? Let me help you out. Zero. There has never, ever, ever been any project before Plume was approved. As I've told you, October 7th, 2025, Plume has registered as a transfer agent with SEC Gov. This accelerates our mission to bring the $1 trillion U.S. securities market on chain. It's our first step in working with the SEC to build fully compliant tokenized capital markets. You have never had a project, not one ever, in your wallet that was approved by the SEC to be a transfer agent in the real world asset space or any space, but Plume, who is the first. And Securitize, it's partnered with Plume. And Securitize has BlackRock built product and Hampton Lane and other ones. And Securitize only sells their product portfolio to institutional rails. And people are worried about the fact that this project, if you, at the time in which you're looking at this, 1 million tokens would cost you $19,000 and a little change. If you had $19,000, you can own 1 million tokens. Well, let's talk about 100,000. This is not a price prediction. I'm just a common sense prediction. If you were able, if you believe in these things are be important, if Plume has zero knowledge technologies for scalability, Plume, as you see here, is right now connected with Securitize, BlackRock, Hamilton Lane. I could keep going on. And it's SEC approved. Who does that? Now they've gotten a license. I haven't even talked about that today. Today is episode 0. Just imagine when I just focus on one thing. Today I'm giving you a shotgun blast, focus on zero knowledge technologies, Eigen layer, and what Plume does and who's behind it. 2 projects. The problem is so much information, people don't see the forest from the trees. Plume just got a commercial license. I hadn't forgot what I was talking about. I just want to make sure that you understand there's so much information, we can't focus on all of it. They have gotten a commercial license with Abu Dhabi, global market registration. They've applied and are looking for a broker's license in the United States of America to be a BlackRock themselves. Listen, you have never had a project in your portfolio or wallet that's accomplished what this project has accomplished. Now, can we trust? I don't know. Because at the same time that I'm giving you this information, I would love to provide you negative information because I think it's important that we weigh out good with the bad. So if I was trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel and I was not focused on utility and a utility coin, literally a utility coin, what could I say about Plume? Well, some of the tokenization. Let me bring up something and then I'll go to your questions here, folks. We have people who have told me about how much each token holder has had. For example, some of the wallets might have big holdings. That's what I've heard. So when that happens, that's potential that they can dump on you. Got you. All right, got you. Here's riddle me this. Just riddle me this. Hear me out for a second. If I'm an institutional rail and I want to go into real world assets, and I've been in traditional assets for the existence of my company. This might be 150 years old, 50 years old, whatever it is this is. How much would it take for me to create a research and development portion of my company, hire the people who can do the thing, create the product, deploy the product seamlessly, versus going to a company like Plume, who is specifically in the real world asset space, the number one, who focuses on the specialization of this and already has the SEC approval without me having to get it. How much would it cost me? See, I need to get in there, and time is of the essence. Timing is everything with markets. Would I spend $3 billion to try to acquire $300 million market? Or would I spend $5 million to acquire $100 million or $300 million market? The financial thing is this. It's easier to obtain a company that already has the rails than for me, myself, to create it. And let me tell you how you know this is true. And I'm not just blowing smoke at you. The federal government in the United States is one of the largest employers of individuals with security clearances. Why? Because they need individuals to be in special positions throughout the government in order to make it function. The number 2 largest employer of people with security clearances are private industries who go poach individuals who got security clearances to work for their company. Why don't they just do it? They got the brains, they got the talent, they got the money, because those clearances are valuable. It might be $100,000 to get a top secret clearance. It might be $200,000 to get some of the other clearances. It might be $50,000 to even get a public trust or confidential clearance. My point I'm trying to make is a comparison analysis. You got to have privacy, security, and scalability. So you only can do it 3 ways. And I continue to tell you this, and I want you to keep applying it to Plume. Either you have to be the company that specializes in that thing so that people can come to your company and get your product, and that's your business model. Or you got to be the company that develops that thing so that you don't have to worry about going to get it from someone else so you can deploy that product, or you got to be the company that goes acquire that thing. Now, I know you think it sounds, the number one thing and the number three thing sounds the same. Underdog, you just said you're the company that specializes in that thing, but that's not the same. If my company makes potato chips and I specialize in barbecue potato chips, it's different than if my company makes potato chips and I want to add a flavor of barbecue. So I go and talk to a company who can help me to secure barbecue potato chips, or I buy barbecue potato chips from that company, add it to my products, and sell it under my brand. You're either going to have to specialize in it, you're either going to have to develop it, or you're going to have to go acquire it. Zero knowledge technology, Plume, is connected to institutional rails because they are already approved and they are setting the stage for what's about to happen. So let's talk about what's about to happen. We're going to go to another 3-minute conversation. Stay with me. I hope that you're enjoying this conversation. I'm going to get to you. I want you to watch this part. This is the SEC chairman discussing on December the 5th of this year what's happening with tokenization, that space that Plume is in. This is what he says.
Tokenization is the idea of using then smart contracts or tokens on chain to be able to, that represent, say, an underlying security. And so then that tokenized security is a security and would be subject to SEC rules by law. But the idea is that if it's on chain, on a blockchain, then there's much more transparency as to where it is. Right now, there's a bit of opacity as to who owns what, and where the company usually doesn't even know where its who its shareholders are, and where the shareholders reside, where the shares reside. So tokenization has the benefit of potentially having, instead of T+1 now, trade date +1 for clearance and settlement, the prospect of maybe T0. Now, depending on the instrument, and we have to think about netting and all sorts of other things with respect to some instruments. But in principle, the idea of on-chain delivery versus payment and receipt versus payment, DVP, RVP on-chain, is a prospect of de-risking the markets, making them much more transparent and then sure as far as clearance and settlement, because it's always that the gap between clearance and settlement and then delivery and payment is the real introduces risk into the system.
Do you expect this is where financial services is going? Are the major banks and the brokers out there today moving increasingly toward tokenization?
Oh, absolutely. And it's the way the world will be, here in maybe not even in 10 years, maybe even a lot less time, maybe a couple of years from now. So I think that all of this modernization of the markets, I think, is good. And the trouble that we've seen here over the past few years is that the SEC, unlike historically, it never was necessarily at the vanguard of pushing new innovations. It was always a little bit behind the market, of course. But here recently, it's been almost standing athwart the marketplace, and as it's as all these new innovations were coming about. So that's no more. We're actually embracing it, and I believe that we need to be embracing it to keep the United States at the forefront. As far as cryptocurrencies and whatnot, there were really only 2 countries in the world here in the last few years that were working to make cryptocurrencies illegal, and that was Communist China and the U.S. through the SEC. So that's changed. It's a new day now, and so we want to embrace this new technology.
We want to embrace this new technology of tokenization. Folks, what are we seeing here? We are seeing, and we're scrutinizing, that Plume as a project if you understand it, that its core value is bigger than the token price. What we're discussing here today is a true analyzation of an evaluation overall of where it's going, what it could achieve. Now, I've told you recently, and I brought this up in the last 2 videos. I brought this up previously. I did a whole conversation. Go to my platform. It's called Plume to Acquire Dinero, Accelerating Institutional ETH SOL BTC. What is the underlying thing? Before I even get to those 3, ETH, SOL, and also BTC. What are the 3 continual things that you hear? I'll say 3. The one thing you continue to hear over and over again: institutional, institutional, institutional. Now, I don't know about you, but I hear a long time ago, there used to be a saying: if someone shows you who they are, all my 40-year-olds are saying, believe them. It's an old saying: if someone shows you who they are, believe them. What part of what Plume stated from the very get-go are we not believing retail investors? They told you that they are making rails for institutional grade investments. They told you that they created right here, Plume Elixir institutional rails. They told you with Grayscale, let's read it, assets under consideration for listing for institutional rails. They told you with BlackRock that they have investors for Nest institutional rails. And then still, we don't understand, which I'm trying to share with you, the private billionaire wealth, zero knowledge crypto profits plan. This plan is not about Plume. It's about the people behind it who are got their beak stuck in every crevice, every hinge of every door. And it's in the private scalability phase. The next upward tick in the next 10 years. And I said 10 years because I think people are thinking, oh, I get the token on Friday, look, Underdog, look at the price on Monday. I get the token next week, Underdog, 6 months later, the token ain't blowing up my bank accounts. Listen, don't get into something that is so new, so misunderstood, I should say, and then you expect an immediate result. Why do we invest in stocks for years, but we invest in cryptocurrencies in seconds, minutes, and moments? Because we don't respect it. We think about the volatility and we got into it for a mindset that is going to just blow up right then. Makes no sense. But if we got Walmart stock years ago, we might still have Walmart stock today. If we got Apple stock years ago, you might still have Apple stock today. Those we think are investable companies. So we look at them as companies. Plume is a company, not a token. Plume Network is the ecosystem they created. Plume utility token is something you can obtain by going to Coinbase. But don't get it twisted, folks. The value comes with time. And institutional investors taking on the ecosystem for products. So if you understand that, then you'll see why that we have again and again big things happening for Plume. And the reason why is the 3 pillars that I can break down to you that Chris Yen said himself. If someone says there's something, believe them. What did he say in this video I showed you? He gave you 3 pillars that I told you about before. Legal structure and rule, impose rules to end users, Plume infrastructure. And what is that infrastructure? What are you going to do with that? Security, scalability, compliant, KYC. And why would you do that? For big institutional investors to invest in, that is what we have here. And it's all available. All right, folks. Now, I've given you all that I want to give you. That was episode 0. Can you imagine episode 1? So I'm about to turn to you. If you don't want to watch anything more, I'm about to turn to you and talk to you. So you have gotten the complete new series. This is episode 0. And now from this point forward, we're going to focus on individual concepts. I'm not going to throw it at you with a whole, shotgun blast. I'm going to go through concepts, focus on 1 thing to 2 concepts per video. So you will be finished over the course of a few months and fully understand this little under 2-cent token you have. Or I can do this for you, folks. And I can do this for you. Let me share this with you. Or I can do this. This is what you might want. This is what some people want you to have. You can just simply get this. This is what we're used to. See, if you want this, let me know. If you want someone to tell you, and I'll make this big for you, okay? So you can see this. If you want someone to tell you that today the market cap of Plume went down, you want me to change it, guys? Let us do the thing that people are looking for. Look at this, guys. Look how advanced I am with cryptocurrency, because I'm telling you about the trading view. Oh, let's show you candlesticks. If you want someone to give you candlesticks to tell you the value, this is not the right platform. Anybody can do this. Anybody can sit here and tell you this. Now, if you're looking for an exit and entrance, go look at technical analysis. But if you're looking for the meat and you want something more than someone telling you what you can simply look up yourself, here we go, guys. Today, right now, at the time in which you're seeing this video, Plume token is 59 million market cap. Volume is 15 million. Volume is down 18.5%. The total market, let's talk about the all-time high. It's down 92% from March 19, 2025. It's all-time low. I have just gave you, saved you time, folks. If that's what you want, then you can get that from anybody. It is simple. It's not hard. This is low level, in my personal opinion. This is low level thinking, because we're not truly learning about anything. You're just hearing people's hype, hearing people's personal perspectives. I'm showing you researchable things right here in front of your face that you can look up. Check Underdogs. No hype, just research. Now, folks, if you like this type of coverage, I'm going to be covering Plume. I have detailed coverage. I have a current series right now called the Swift Coin mini series that will be finishing up here in the next 5 to 6 episodes. And that is a great episode. It connects you to a lot of this stuff. I'll be transitioning now into this series. I still have my public series called the Connected series. I also have my podcast called the Cyberfall podcast. I have a private site. Scan the QR code. This is the first level, and you can be a part of this understanding. You will know what you have in your hands. All right. Now, again, that is what I have. So now, with that being done, I'm about to turn to you folks and see what you have to say tonight. Thank you for watching episode number 0. I appreciate you being here. And now, episode 0 is concluded. So it's time to turn to you and talk to you, see what's on your mind. And so we can keep exploring together. I appreciate you giving me your time. So what's going on, everybody? Let me put my thing up so you can see. I appreciate you being here tonight for the live stream. I appreciate it very much. Let's see who's in the house and looking at the videos today. We have, oh, there's a member. You see that little circle? That's one of our members. Okay, Underdog, I'm ready. Got there 45 minutes before we even started. Thank you for being here today. 150, I appreciate you. You've been following and you've been keeping along. I love it. That's what we got to do. That's one of our members here. All right, we got, I see you. I told you that. Let's go down a little bit. We have Sour Boy 28. He says, love for you to check out and review BNB Pepe. All right. Now, I am no longer doing any type of research on meme coins. I did 3 in my 5 years. So I did 3 meme coins, and I don't want to normally do meme coins, but I did Shiba Inu, Turbo, and recently one called Hoppy. Now, they had their ups and downs, but meme coins don't have utility. But my community wanted me to do that, so I followed that. Besides Shiba I did on my own, and Turbo I did on my own. And then I got recommendations from my community to do Hoppy, and I've concluded with Hoppy. And so I don't want to do anything that is meme coinish. It is a lot, because really there's not too much to it. And there is factors outside of utilities. So I'll take a look, but if it's a meme coin, I'm not gonna do it, folks. I'm gonna move on from covering meme coins. We got plenty of people who do that. But thank you for being here, though. I hope that you enjoy the Plume coverage. All right, we got Mr. E, Mr. Baby Ears, Underdog. We see you, we hear. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you, one of my greatest supporters. Also in another platform, he is always supporting, sharing my videos, getting out there. So I appreciate you, E. Thank you. We got William. He's back again, folks. Good evening, Underdog. Hey, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're back. I'm starting to see some people that I've never seen speaking up. So I'm happy to see you here at my live. I've done more lives in the last week than I've done in my history of being online. So I really appreciate seeing your faces. And if y'all continue to support me, share the videos and like the videos and comment and engage, I'll keep doing more lives. But I typically am a researcher who does pre-recorded videos, put them out there because I try to make it easy. I also go back and I time code my videos. So if y'all don't know, go look in the description. You can find them time coded, and I'll break them down so it's easier to navigate in case it's a long video. So any lives, I'll eventually go through, time code them. All my regular videos are time coded, and read the description. I put a lot of information in there. Everything is with intent. So thank you for being here today, William. I'm glad you're here. And also, y'all see that little circle on William? That means he is a member of the Underdog. Scan that QR code, become a member. I'm telling you, folks, if you haven't been to a private site, I'll waive your whole fee if at the minimum, there's 3 different price points within the private site. So if you get the highest membership, which is 66 cents a day, $19.99 a month, very inexpensive, you get all the stuff you see on a public YouTube. But also on a private site, I do other things that I don't release here. So I just have the videos, they're sitting there and they're evergreen. They typically, you can research them, look at them, but I also provide training and things like that too. And if you're at the highest membership, the analyst level, you get a membership on a private site. I'll give you a coupon once you contact me, and it waives that fee. So you're not paying for the private site and your YouTube membership. It's $19.99. I'll give you a $20 refund, and then you're paying just the difference. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. So that's what I do. And the coupon is off the site. So it makes it easy for you folks. All right. So let's keep going, folks. Let's see. We got greetings. You're on the big screen. Hey, thank you here tomorrow. Y'all keep let me tell you something. My followers who are members, I'm going to start doing a lot more videos for you. You're coming out in force. Y'all see those little circles? Those little circles tell me that this is also a member. But I already recognize Hiro Tanami. He's been a member since I first announced it. So I appreciate you joining tonight. Greetings on a big screen. Put me on a big screen. I'm not vain. I just want you to see all the time I put days, weeks, hours into this stuff, folks. So I hope it's worth 66 cents. I hope it's worth 66 cents. But I want you to see it so you can verify what I'm saying. That way you don't think I'm just saying something that I'm just giving you my opinion. I'll tell you when it's my opinion, and I'll tell you when it's research. All right. So thanks for being here. Cloud 9963 bought the dip. Hey, look, so I'm glad you said that. So I'm gonna tell everybody right now. Also, scan my QR code. At the end of this, I should see 5 more new members who says Underdog's research is worth 66 cents. Unless you just want to go to YouTube and hear someone tell you rocket ships and all the things you want to hear, because I don't do that. So you might be a conflict of interest, but I digress. Now, bought the dip. Let me tell you this. I didn't say it today, but I'm gonna say it right now. It is my thoughts. This is my personal thoughts, separated from research, that everyone should try to hold 100,000 Plume for what's to come. I don't know when it's going to come. I can't tell you that because they have a lot of big things, and I'm not seeing an explosive price action, but 100,000 Plume. Now, my goal, I hadn't got there yet. My goal is to hold 1 million Plume. The other day we talked to someone who was on live and they're like, hey, I got 1.5 million. I think that's great. At this current time, it's like 19,000 at the current time right now. So every time I make any type of money, I'm going to buy a little bit of Plume and a little bit of Plume at these prices. And this is how I figure it out. Again, this is not, I promise you, this is not financial advice. This is Underdog telling you about what I'm thinking. It's just me thinking, my personal opinion. Don't take my advice on any type of financial trading. I don't want to hear it. I don't want nobody in my comments, but this is what I'm thinking. Well, I looked at all the stats on Plume for the past, since they started to now, presently, at the time in which you were seeing me live. And on average, and I don't want to quote me because I'm going to look back, but I believe 11 cents is the median price. And it's been on that median price, I think about 60 to 70% of the time. So in my math, I'm underdog mathing. If I was to focus on price, if that was my core thing, to me, I have a 60% chance of it returning back to that median price sometime in the next year. So if I can get my price at under 2 cents, which right now is like 0.9, it's like 1.9 cents. Not even 1.9 cents. It's a little bit under a penny, 2 pennies. In my mind, and this is just me thinking. I don't want nobody to quote me. Underdog gave me a price prediction. I'm just thinking like, okay, if it goes up to 10 cents, then I've doubled. That's 5x for me, right? So I'm just thinking if I had a dollar's worth, for every dollar worth, it'd be worth about $5. Now that's my thinking. So if I put $1,000 in it, it could be worth 5,000. Now again, I want to make sure I say this because somebody can clip out what I'm saying and they're going to misconstrue it. I am not saying it's going to go up to $1. I'm not saying any of that stuff. All I'm saying is that if it's underneath 2 cents and Bitcoin has been hit, we got a potential war in Venezuela. We got the economy going down. We got Republicans and Democrats fighting as usual. We got BS all over the world. We got all kind of crazy stuff happening. And then people, look, sooner or later, that's going to have to stop. It just natural. So if it just goes back up in the next few months, there you have it. Now, if it doesn't, if it keeps going down, I know there's a big token unlock. And I have to check it out for January. And I heard this is speculation. I heard that it might drop down to below a penny or a penny. Now, me personally, this is me. I wish to goodness it drops down below a penny. I'm telling you, then I can get to my goal of 1 million tokens quicker, and I don't have to spend as much money because I buy red candles. I love red candles. Red candles have been so good to me over the past 5 years. I like red candles. With something with this much utility dropping below 2 cents, oh my goodness, that'd be wonderful. Okay, that was my little J moment. I'm just having a moment. So let's get back to it. So you bought the dip. I'm with you, folks. All right. We got, again, present and accounted for, sir. Appreciate you being here. Like I said, I see you. I see you was here 45 minutes early too. So thank you for being here. Facts over FUD. Now, Phantom Beat, y'all know Phantom Beat and Third Eye Explosion. I always bring them out every time. Phantom Beat, when I first started with my little tiny camera that was like 720 and a raggedy little microphone, Phantom Beat was there. When I was on an app called Silo, this is before YouTube, folks. Silo. I didn't have no Telegram. Phantom Beat was there for me. He was in that community. Him and Third Eye Explosion are the longest running Underdog community members I have, period. So every time I see him, I appreciate you. So thanks for being here, Phantom, all the years and continue to support me. And I appreciate it very much. All right. We have CJ Tribal 3133. Is it true that one wallet holds over 80% of the supply? I have heard that. So this is what I'm going to do for you. CJ Tribal, consider it researched. On the upcoming conversation, I will research that question. I don't normally talk about tokenomics and all that stuff like that in the last few years, but I will, because I think that's important. And it's also from my understanding that there's going to be a lot of huge token unlocks, which is going to drive the price down quite significantly, in my personal opinion, based on the historic actions of tokens. That doesn't change my personal view of the project because I am a crypto hodler. So I'm looking for the bright green days in the future. But I think it's important to find out. So I will do that for you. That's why I like doing these lives. People bring things up and I'll research it. Bring it to the community, and then I'll put it in one of my upcoming lives or videos. So make sure you subscribe right now. If you're not subscribed, press subscribe, leave a comment, not only in the live, but on the regular comments. And if you have questions, leave that comment in questions. I try to get back to them, but let's find out. The question is it true that one wallet holds over 80% of the supply? That's a huge amount. It reminds me of the World Liberty USD1 token with a particular, president of the United States, how much they hold. But people like the Trump coin and everything else they do. So it is what it is. But I'll find out for you. I think it's a good question. Thank you for asking. Phantom Beat 79C7, you still bullish on Red Belly? See, look at Hero Time. See, you see how my community does me, folks? That's my member, not only Underdog community member. He's over there talking about other projects on a Plume conversation. Come on, man. But hey, actually, by the way, Phantom Beat, are you bullish on it? Let me know. But leave a comment. Let me know. All right. I saw it and I heard it. Okay, thank you. Tell me if you could hear my videos. I'm glad everybody could hear those. Who scanned the QR code? I'm looking after this live stream. I've been here for an hour and over an hour. I did research, took me days to do, and I put it all together, visuals. Who's going to join the memberships and say Underdog is worth 66 cents? If nobody does, I'm going to make y'all pay. I'm not going to give you a video for a week. That's how y'all treat me. That's how I'm going to treat you. So hopefully we have some more members to join today. We got Crypto Crossroads Show. I can't say enough about this man. He's a great researcher. Happy that you're here today, folks. Look, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to call him out. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. Crypto Crossroads Show. If you're still here, leave a message. Say, I'm still here. I got to call you out real quick, buddy. I got to call you out. I'm going to show you guys, if he doesn't rectify this, I'm going to show you a message on X between me and Crypto Crossroads Show, what I've been saying, hey, when we're going to collaborate, when we're going to talk about Mocha and the connection. Now I know Plume is connected with Mocha. And he said, yeah, Underdog, ask me when he's collaborated with me. 0 times. Now I'm trying not to be offended, community. I'm trying not to be offended, but I feel like it's personal. Don't you feel like, have you ever went somewhere and then the people don't want to be around you and you can feel that vibe? Maybe Crypto Crossroads Show just doesn't want to hang out with Underdog. I just want to talk about crypto, tell it to the people. And he has all this knowledge about this project, but he won't talk to Underdog in a collaboration. Now, I told him he don't even have to turn on his camera. So if you don't mind, go to Crypto Crossroads Show on YouTube. If you do this on the behalf of the Underdog and go over there and say, that's a great video, but why haven't you collaborated with Underdog? Okay, if you don't mind, can y'all do that for me? Because apparently I'm not good enough to, collaborate with you. I'm super bullish on Red Belly. Let's see. We got Jody. Hey, Jody, I'm going to read your comment. But first of all, Jody is being a member for a few months now. Came from the channel and has been very supportive. And I really appreciate that. So I want to look at you, Jody, and say thank you very much. I appreciate all the comments. I've read them. And you even sent me an email. My email is on my site under the profile spoke. So if you ever want to email me and talk to me, I got an email right there for you to do so. So thank you. Big Underdog Research, aka Bro J, is a realist in the crypto game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Jesus of crypto. Hey, no, lead us to the Plume land. I'm not going to take that one. Nope. Nope. I ain't going to put my name and the Lord our Savior's name in the same sentence. No, sir. All knees will bow. All heads will bow and all knees will bend. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate your support and I appreciate the showing coming up today, folks. D Chamber 6554. Canton Network is working with Securitize. So this is what I love, folks. I have zero idea what he's talking about. You know what that means to me? I got to do some more research. When I see somebody post something and I don't know what it's about, I don't ignore it. I'm thinking to myself, what's Canton Network? And how is it connected to Securitize? And if it's connected to Securitize, is it connected to Plume somehow? So I will look that up, D Chamber. Thank you for telling me that. And I'll look up and see what Canton Network is. And if you have any other information, leave a comment and I'll be happy to see it. We have Detroit XRP313. Thank you for being here. And for folks who just got here today, thank you for watching. If you're watching me live, once this ends, you can go back and watch the full episode 0 of the new Plume report. I hope you enjoyed it. We talked about two main things. The summary, we talked about zero knowledge technology integration. We also talked about the scalability and also eigenlayer. That's more than two main things, but you get my point. And we talked about the connections and the tokenization. So all that in episode 0. Just imagine if you become a member. So scan that QR code. So now let's get back to Detroit. Salutations. Underdog Research Channel on fire. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. I try to. I really get excited about Plume because they got some huge connections. You know, I can't see it in the price action. If I was staring at price action, I'll be like, maybe like some of these other people, win Moon, win Lambo, Underdog. I don't know, folks. You know, it has some huge connections. But listen, I like the connection they're making, and I'm willing to hold for 10 years, a decade, if that means that it will go to double what I got. I have time. I don't have to rush. I got time. So I appreciate it. We got, wait, did I read it? Yeah, I read it. Let's go back. During my research, CoinGecko states DUSD has been shut down by Elixir. They also, go ahead, let me read that, Rex. They also are doing resubmissions. I saw that. So, folks, Elixir, as I've been talking about, let me see if I can bring it up here. 1 second. I may have a post about it. If I don't, yeah. This it? This might be it. 1 second. Let me see here. So, yeah, there it goes. By leveraging Elixir DEUSD and then also stable DUSD, stablecoins institutions can access new yield opportunities via Nest and Plume. So DEUSD, it's made by Elixir. Elixir is a company. I've talked about that. From my understanding, they depegged somehow. Now, I haven't looked into the depegging of it, but the company, make sure we're correct, Elixir depegged from the dollar or whatever was backing it. I am going to look into that. I think it's important to find out why. Does it affect overall? No, because the Nest project itself uses PUSD, which is the Plume stablecoin, or you can use DEUSD. So for me, it's like Taco Bell and KY and Kentucky Fried Chicken in the same building. I don't want to hear no remarks that are inappropriate just because I use KYC. I mean Kentucky Fried Chicken and Taco Bell. And let's say Taco Bell is having financial troubles and they may be having some difficulties surviving, but KYC, I mean, not KYC, KFC is thriving. Although they share the same building, and although there could be some effect of how many people go in the volume there because both of them are active, ultimately one company might be stronger than the other. So Elixir's product is competitive. The stablecoin is competitive. So I got to look into, and I will. I have a lot of research I have to do, so that's not going to be at the top of my research, but why DUSD depegged and the issues they're having. Maybe that can help us to understand why Plume is doing so well with institutional rails. Maybe they get it figured out, but ultimately they're two different companies. So, all right, we got 150. They are also doing resubmissions. Randy Espirito just bought more Plume today. Haven't felt like this about a project since I held AMC RIP to. Woo! Oh man, you had the AMC. That's a big. I feel the same way. I like it too. This is why Randy, thank you for sharing that. That you just bought some more Plume today, and he hadn't felt this way. I'm not a very emotional person, unfortunately. It works well for the career I'm in, and it works well for what I do in life, but I must say, my personal opinion is you can't ignore all the positive news that Plume is obscene. And, I would prefer to have some negative news. And the only thing that can be negative that I'm seeing right now is two areas. One, RWAs are very new, and it's not a new conversation, but it's very new to the market. It might take some years for people to integrate. And two, if I was focused on price action, the price action is low. But then at the same time, isn't the whole point buy low and sell high? Like, I feel like people be forgetting that completely. Like, we buy high and then sell higher. I don't know. It's weird to me. So I like it as well. I have a good personal positive feeling about Plume, but in order to give you guys the best research I can, I have to black out my own personal feelings about these things and be kind of very neutral in order to talk about it, because I don't want to get too excited. I don't want to give you too many cues because I don't want to bias your thoughts. I want you to watch my videos, say, what's ZK-Me? What's zero knowledge proofs? What's Solana? What's this? And you do research on your own and learn. I don't want to tell you what to buy. I think that we have to take accountability. But yeah, I'll say, Randy, my personal thoughts, I have a good feeling too. I don't know why. But I do like all the things Plume is doing. All right, we got Underdog is the best researcher. Please like and subscribe to him. Thank you very much, Sour Boy 28. I appreciate that, folks. Please like, share, and sharing is very important. If you share the content and you leave a comment, not just in the live, but on a regular, it really helps to push out the video. Right now, there's not too many people even talking about this project. But when it starts to go to green candles, they'll talk about it, and then my videos will be seen more often. But I like to tell people way before it gets there, because then you can really see the power of it. So, yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Please share it. All right, we got thank you, military veteran, for saying that regarding potential war, Black Swan event incoming. Yeah. Look. I've been here too long on this live. I won't go into my personal feelings. Maybe I'll do a live. If y'all want me to, I'll do a live this weekend again. I'll do a live and talk about crypto, but talk about the world and connect some of these dots with the world. But yeah, it's I've been deployed twice in service to my country. I'm not just a veteran, but I'm a wartime veteran who was deployed during Operation Enduring Freedom 2. And I was there. Not everyone that I knew who were there with me came home. And I'm going to move on. All right. So let's go to Phantom Beat. Still eyeballing Red Belly. I'm going to have to check out Red Belly. I see you put it out there a lot. And that is a comment to the Crypto Crossroads show. So Phantom Beats responded back to them. Check the bubble maps. All right. And a Phantom Beat still trying to get friends to start investing. They think they have time to many announcements happening for them to ignore. Yeah. It's wild that people always think they have the time, but it's going to just take off. 1150. I'm waiting for Securitize to go public. Got that dry powder. Woo. Yes. I love it. That would be huge. That'd be huge. I mean, all these things there's so much stuff happening. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to, if y'all want me to, after this live stops, leave a comment, say, Underdog, go live again, and leave a comment, and I'll consider going live again. Maybe we can talk about some other things like you're talking about today, but it's a lot. It's a lot. MGZ, I love your content. So authentic. Thank you very much. I try to be authentic. As much as possible. I also try to suppress my personal disdain, or emotions as I talk about these things. I do try to have a pretty vibrant personality, but I don't want to influence people. I want people to come here to get research without hype, and then go look at other content and then make a decision or better understand something. So that's what I try to do. All right. I think that is the last comment. I really appreciate it. This was fun. This was fun being here today. I'm going to wrap it up by again encouraging everyone to one, share this on big screen. See it on, you can like bring me into your home. Bring me into your home. And that way you can see this on Netflix or whatever, or Roku, and see a big screen. It makes a difference. I'm telling you, I watch videos like this. My favorite content creators and researchers on big screen is really helpful. And then also, I got a plug. Can I shield Underdog to y'all? I took a lot of time to do this. Listen, folks, here's my membership. I'm gonna put it big so you can see it for a second. I'm gonna talk to you. The reason I keep pushing this is because I take a lot of time of my life doing this for you. And I think it's 25 cents for every 1,000 views. So if you think that this is valuable, if you kicking it with me, just scan the QR code. It's 66 cents for the highest membership, the analyst level. All the memberships have something for you. I waited 4 years before I even did a membership because I wanted to give something of value, a value exchange. I will give you the best research I possibly can give you. You're patronizing the site, and hopefully you get value from it. And it's less than it costs if you were to sell Ethereum or any other cryptocurrency on Coinbase. The fees alone will cost you between 10 and 15 bucks. And you know that's true. So I feel like this. If you're investing in something, why not invest like individuals who have financial advisors who are paying hedge funds 10 to 25%? Here, you're talking about pennies. If you got more than 20 bucks and you're not willing to spend $20 to make that 20 bucks double, and you don't want to know about it, then you're not really investing, you're gambling. So all I'm saying is get the value. Otherwise, you're just going to hear people's opinions and hype, and it doesn't really put you in a position to win. So hopefully you'll find this exchange of value, and we can both have an exchange of value. Let's see. Do we have more? Oh, we got one. We got another. Okay, we got another comment. Tokenized stock market will be wild when it takes off fully. Oh my goodness. Listen, and thank you, Phantom Beat. I really appreciate you saying that, Phantom Beat, because we're oftentimes waiting for a sign, but people FOMO on green candles. I have seen it time and time again that something starts off, it doesn't have that much value, and then you get into it beforehand, and then there's a catalyst, and it just blows up, and it goes from 0 to 5,000, and then everybody and their mama would dump hundreds to thousands of dollars to get a piece of it because they don't want to miss out. And my community, we're chilling. I'm not saying we always win. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do a video about in the 5 years which projects have lost. And when I say lost, 90% of the projects, up to 94%, won't make it in crypto in general. 90%. And I've talked about that too. Several studies have shown that. So I've done a lot of videos. So I would like to go through. I already know what they are in my brain. Go through the ones that have lost and what went wrong, and the ones that are won. We win here more than we lose. So I mean, I'm not saying that look, we win here more than we lose. Now a lot of this stuff too. All of them have won at some point, but with crypto, if you get into it and let's say you put $100 in it and then it goes up and you have an opportunity to sell and you have $125. When people lose, it's been, you're like, I think I can get $138, and that you don't sell in time, and then it goes down, and then the company doesn't make it. And now you're like, oh crap. A lot of it is about what you consider as making money. But for me, if you put $100 in and you now make $120, that's $20 more than what you had. If you sell it, you clear that $20 profit. But if you choose to try to make that $100, $200, you're your risk increases. Therefore, you have to be accountable for what happens next if it goes out. So that's why I'm saying I like entering when the market's red. I like entering when it's close to all-time lows. Right now, Plume is close to all-time low. The market's super red. There's a lot of reasons why there's a bear market right now, and I've talked about. If it turns back around in the next year or so, I'm winning. 2 years, I'm winning. But what if it does not turns back around, but it catches on like Phantom Beat says, when the market becomes tokenized and they're in the space already, they're already there. I can't even fathom what if 2 cents becomes $1? What becomes $5? I saw it with Eigenlayer. I saw it with Tailcoin. I've seen it with Nimic. I've seen it with Zilliqa. I've seen it with so many projects. Sand. Shoot, I could get going on and on. My point I'm trying to make is even Mocha coin, it went from 6 cents to 50 cents. Community was in place beforehand. No one was talking about it. I told my community about that one, and I'll just give you an example. Mocha was at 6 cents, and I first heard about it again from, let me pull him up, and if he's still here, he might not be here. Crypto Crossroads Show. He might be gone. There he goes. So this individual right there, Crypto Crossroads Show, I had my own Telegram community. He was in it. We did research in there, and he was like, we're looking at Animoca brands. And I'm just using this one because, it's relevant in the recent years. And it was 6 cents. Well, it wasn't even 6 cents. He was telling us about this project. I researched into it and found out it was pretty a good project. We talked about it, did some first videos. Held on to it. I think it was like October. I can get the exact time frame. October time frame. I tell my community, I'm like, listen, it's 6 cents. So even if you got to go get a loan, and I'm not giving them advice, I'm just telling you what I told them. Even like you have to go get a loan for $60,000 because for 6 cents it would cost you $60,000. If you got a loan and got 1 million of these Mocha, and I believe it's about to take off in the next 6 months, even if you have to pay back that $60,000 at $2,000 or $1,000 a month, whatever it would be. I don't know what it'd be, a car payment. If it takes off, you win. And sure enough, I went, did what I needed to do, got me 1 million tokens, and in less than 7 weeks, my 6 cent per token went up to 50 cents. Now, I didn't get the 50 cent point, but I was able to get at the high 45, 47 cents. But that wasn't the first time. It's happened multiple times. And there was nobody talking about it. It wasn't on the line, just like Plume. No one's talking about it. No, nothing. Zilliqa, I'm using that. These are a little older. Zilliqa, Tailcoin. These are older ones. Eigenlayer, Sand, Ape Coin. So many. I'm thinking like my mind is going at all the videos on my page. So many of them where, we're talking about it. No one's talking about it online. It's red. I'll get like 1,000 comments over the course of the year about how this one is nothing and this one is not going to do anything. Oh, it's a scam because the price action went down, or I never heard of it, and then it blows up, and then I always start getting subscribers, and people are blowing up my comments like, hey, how did you know about this? And I keep telling people my formula is not price action. My formula is very simple. I look at the research. I look at the connections. I look at the money rails, and I put it out there, and I don't look at the price. And then it continues to work. I don't know what to say. It continues to work. So I guess what I'm saying is that you can find a lot of value from this platform. That's and I like to help people. That's why I keep offering people these memberships, because really, is it worth $20 to get? You heard about Plume here. I told you about Eigenlayer here today. There'll be other projects I'll tell you about along the way as we're researching these. And if you are in a position to win, and before it happens, why not? Why not? One I don't talk about a lot right now that I really like is Teo. That one is BitTensor. It's the AI of it's the AI Bitcoin. Like it's the Bitcoin of AI. I'm trying to say people can build off the platform, all things AI. Barry Silbert, who's over Grayscale. Well, Peter Mintzberg is over Grayscale, but Barry Silbert is the mother group, right? The head group over Grayscale, digital currency group. And he created Grayscale. Well, he's the one who is behind BitTensor. Now, I don't talk about it that much, but BitTensor and cost-wise, it's like $225, $250, $287. It fluctuates. So I'll get into something like that at the beginning of the year. And then BitTensor went all the way up to like $500. Its all-time high was $754. And I owned like, 10 of them. Now, if I believe it's the Bitcoin of AI, why not hold 10 BitTensor, put it in a wallet, off-chain cold wallet, and sit on it for 10 years? And then if it hits and it's the same price of Bitcoin, I spent $250 and then it ends up being $10,000 per coin. Now you got it. You don't have to worry about it. Where other people are just trying to buy bits of it. So, that's how I look at these tokens. It's not about the price for me. I don't, it's kind of frustrating talking to people who are just so totally focused on price that they are treating it like a meme coin. But it's about, do you really understand it? And does it resolve a problem? And will people use it in the future? So there's that. Let's keep going. I'm going back down. Let's see where we at. Mike Main checked in with us. Hey, Mike, how you doing? He's also a member. Y'all see that circle around their name? Y'all see it? Scan that QR code and get a circle around your name. That means you're a member. Mike Main's been a member following this for the last, I think, about a year, right, Mike? About a year. I didn't have a membership for a year, but he's been a member and been following the platform for over a year. So good to see you here. Thank you for coming, Mike Main. Crypto Zach, what's up? What's good, fam? Tuning in from the graveyard shift. Crypto Zach, I wish I had saw this earlier. So Crypto Zach, also called Crypto Z. I like Crypto Zach, and I need to talk about his platform more. It is, other than my friend Indigo Saint, Crypto Zach, he has a platform. Let me see if I can find it and I'll share it with you. He does music, and I'm telling you, you want somebody to keep it real. You like authenticity. He gonna say a few bad words. He's trying to do better, but he's gonna tell you exactly his feelings, and that's what attracted me to his platform. I'm gonna look for you, Crypto Zach. I'm gonna see if I can share it with you, Crypto Zach. But he has a very interesting platform. Now, he typically talks about meme coins, but he might have talked about other things other than meme coins. If I can't find it, I'm going to next time be ready. Let me see. Crypto Zach, if you're still there, man, type in your YouTube page. Oh, there he goes. All right. Let me share this with you guys. So I got it up now. And now you can see it. Okay. So I'm about to share Crypto Zach with everybody. And then we're going to take a quick look at what he does on his channel. Here we go. All right. Here's Crypto Zach. Let me go ahead and go silent. All right, let's go to his channel. Let's see what type of videos he has. Me and him have done a couple of collabs on one of the meme coins I told you about earlier. But I like his content, so let's go to it. He has pre-recorded videos right here. He also has. He's talking about cold hype. He does a lot of let me. I'm laughing because listen to his video name. 2025 was butt cheeks bullish AF on 26 fire. Shape shift Fox 100 speed sleeper. So he does more than meme coins. Arc block ABT. Right now he's doing a particular meme coin that right here. If you're into meme coins, there's a second one he's into. Aura chain, alchemy, So he does a lot. So you find him right here, Crypto Zach, Crypto Z. Since we're here, well, that's where you can find him at Crypto Zach or Crypto Z. Let's do Crypto Crossroads Show. Crypto Crossroads Show. Crossroad Show. See, I was unprepared, ill prepared. There we go. This is the second one I told you about. Crypto Crossroads Show. You can find him here. Now he has some great content too. There's Mocha. You're going to hear that from me. That's coming, folks. I've already talked about it since for years. It's coming. Mocha, Animoca Brands. You're going to hear that from me a lot. Base and Coinbase. He talks about Teva, Ripple, Gemini. Y'all, let's see what else he has here. He got shorts. XDC, Mocha again, Bello, Lightlink. He talked about that quite a bit. And of course, Swift Blockchain. Everybody, if you've been on my platform, you've definitely seen Swift Blockchain. Mr. Migos, he even got a Coinbase coin, meme coin. He has a lot to offer. So check out him. I got to show my friend. Let's go to two more, folks. Black Rue Investing, one of the best in the game. Right here, if you're trying to get a good resource, always. This is who I go to in times of need, folks. Ruel Black, the Crypto Rue podcast. Learn how to invest in your future. His page is always pumping. Let's see how many videos he has. At the time of this video, 908 videos. He loves stock, crypto. He does recorded videos, a very in-depth shorts, lives. Is he into podcasts? Got a couple of podcasts in there. Playlist. Here's me and Black Rue. Let's open it up real quick. This is an offline discussion that me and him did a few months back. So, if you, me and him collaborated quite a bit. So that's another person. And I'm going to also do the third eye investing. That's Indigo Saint. If I can find it here. The third eye. I spelled it wrong. Don't judge me. I see people judging. Don't judge me. I see y'all judging. Here we go. The third eye. This is the person who made the Plume song. So matter of fact, let's first show you his page and then let's play his song for Plume. He created this. And if you listen to it, he tells you some secrets. So he has videos. The third eye, you can find them at the.third.eye. And that means a few things. The third eye, your gateway to insightful discussions spanning the realms of internet, industry, and insight. So it's internet, industry, and insights, the third eye. Dive into conversations and they'll span your horizons. He tells you how to trade, literally teaches you how to trade and teach you such as how to auction trade. He's a mathematician. A lot of people don't realize that. He's also a music artist. So he has a lot of factors. So I love that there. You can see that with him. He also gives a very in-depth conversation, like real world, real people stuff. So you can find that there. So let me show you that third eye. And let's stop sharing the screen and bring my face back on. So I just want to share that with you. Now, let me play this for you since I'm here. I want to play the Plume song, if y'all don't mind. I think I love the song that he did, and it's amazing. So let me put the song that he did. That's here. So here we go. So if you're still rocking with me, we're just talking, we're chilling. We already did the video, so we're just kind of having a conversation with you since you took the time to be here. Let's bring up the song. Here we go. So check this out, folks.
Be the Plume goon, should start down, need permission, I stay real with it. Lay on foundation, know it's gon' build, bro, I been biddle with it. Your homeboy check the cash out, smart contracts with a cash out. Everybody want smoke till I turn the dare, show you where the hash at. Spun the block, turns out I been Black Rock. Protocol, treasuries, bonds, I been got them padlocked. Been the best out, they can imitate. Get the best out, then you integrate. Ask Ondo, who Rambo, drew first blood, boy, I been a great. Everybody think they starboard. I'm in orbit. Stella still, hella Stella though. I like Swift better for the corporates. I'm the enterprise, I took Knox. Hamilton on chain. Zero knowledge, always never improvise. The White House, no my name.
The man's talented. The man's talented. I mean, absolutely talented. And that was just a less than 30 seconds. But if you listen to the words, he actually, I'm going to do a breakdown of his song. He does that for me. He'll create these songs where he talks about real world information about the project, and people miss it because they only hear the music, but he talks about things that I talk about in the platform. So he said a lot there. So, but that was him. It's pretty awesome. Let's go back to Crypto Zach. Let's see. Here we go. What's good, fam? Turning graveyard shift. And then he said, he talks about memes, mostly utility tokens and low cap coins. So thank you for being here, Zach. I appreciate you, brother. All right. Swift coin hoarder. Got me a good bag of Plume, but a hefty bag of Swift blockchain. Folks, I got a series. I don't have it pulled up right now, but look for it. It's in for my members only platform. If you join it, become a member, you can see the Swift coin mini series, and I have plenty of free content that you can see as well. But I'm telling you, you're going to want to get the Swift coin mini series. I'm sharing some information. I got some upcoming episodes, and the last several episodes I'll be doing for Swift are huge. Even about a new company that Swift might be starting. Y'all might want to pay attention, but you hadn't got there yet. So check out the Swift Coin mini series if you want to check it out. I think I have a free episode. Episode 7 is a free episode, so you can check that out on my live streams, and you can see the episode 7 of that. There's several episodes, and we go into money rails from Switzerland, Bermuda, New York, California, showing you people all the way to Gavin Newsom, to everybody. I mean, I'm showing you some huge connections here. And interestingly, some of these same backers are behind these projects that you're talking about right now with Plume. So pay attention. Swift coin hoarder, want to retire soon, be a Swift millionaire. I want to be a millionaire so freaking bad. I'm telling you, it's a wonderful thing to find value in things that people don't see. And then you become a millionaire, and then you're living that life. And I don't know if you've ever seen $1 million in your tokens. It's a beautiful thing, folks, when you look in your wallet and your token, just one of many, is worth $1 million. Something about when you go to the bank and you look in your bank account, and you know the people, you pull out $10 just so that you can just they'll come to you, hey, why are you pulling out $10? And they see your account balance. Something about it, folks. Something about it. But I digress. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the shout out, brother. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Crypto Z. I'm glad you're watching with me. Hardest working man, blue collar worker, hardest working man in show business, but has a business he started recently too. So listen, man, I'm glad you're able to check me out on the third shift. So thank you for coming. All right, folks. I think that is about it. We've went through the video. This live is about to end, but I appreciate you being here today. Again, thank you for stopping by. Become a member, 66 cents for the highest membership, and check out the series. And also, this is the new series that is starting now. Episode 0 was today, and the rest of them will be focused on parts that you can understand. Share the Plume Report. And I'll try to keep them concise. So typically I'll try to make my reports between 15 minutes to 30 at the maximum for the members, but they'll be short and concise. It won't be these long lives that you're getting right now. So it'll be more concise. 15 minutes of your time help keep you updated. All right. That's all I got for you folks. Until next time, it's been the Underdog Research Channel. Take care.
Aye. Be the Plume goon since the start down, need permission, now I stay real with it. Lay on foundation, know it's gon' build, bro, I been biddle with it. Your homeboy check the cash out, smart contracts for the cash out. Everybody want smoke till I turn the dare, show you where the house at. Spun the block, turns out I be in Black Rock. Protocol, treasuries, bonds on me, got them padlocked. Been the best out, they can imitate. Get the best out, then you integrate. Ask Kondo, who Rambo, drew first blood, boy, I been a great. Everybody then they starboard. I'm in orbit. Stellar still, hella stellar though. I like Smith better for the corporates. I'm the enterprise, I took the knives. Hamilton on chain. Zero knowledge, always never improvise. The White House know my name.